Welcome to a program devoted entirely to Lefties Losing It. Let's start with a lesson about appeasing communists. As the great Winston Churchill said, one hopes that he feeds the crocodile enough, the crocodile will eat him last. But in the end, the crocodiles will eat you and the communists will get you, as lefty academic, author and podcaster Scott Galloway found out when New York Mayor Zoran Mamdani doxed him. Here he is with fellow lefty Kara Swisher.
And I've been doxed.
You've been doxed? What? Tell me.
So I don't know if you've heard, but Mayor Mamdani has decided to release a list of the 950,000 residences with addresses and names that might be eligible for his pied-à-terre tax. I came out in favor of this tax. This is the definition. He's taken a legitimate source of tax revenue and he's turning it into a wanted poster. And the question I would have is, other than trying to identify and imply these people have done something wrong, and then 18 months after a healthcare CEO was executed in the street and then published the list, what is the upside here? Why is he doing this?
Why is he doing this, Scott? Because he's a dirty communist, that's why. Now watch these two useful idiots of the hard left be shocked, utterly shocked by the communist war against success and achievement.
New York is the last place you want to demonize success.
Yeah,
the reason people move to New York is they think, I want to be successful on Broadway. I want to be successful in business. I want to be successful in the arts. And no one's going to get in my if I'm really talented and work hard. We're going to celebrate it. We're not going to put a big R on your door and say you've done something wrong because you're successful.
Yeah, I don't know quite why he did it since he got the tax. The tax was going through. He's seeing some polling where it's not. He's already won, and I'm not sure why he's doubling down.
He's doubling down because he's a communist, Kara. I mean, I don't know, I'm repeating myself here. These silly, TDS-riddled nincompoops just don't get it. It's because he's a communist. They do not stop. It's who they are. It's something that your fellow lefty, Bill Maher, understands.
New York Mayor Mamdani once tweeted Karl Marx's words exactly. They're not trying to hide it. Their most popular influencer, Hassan Piker, thinks communism is so groovy. He laments the fall of the two of the most murderous regimes in history, the Soviet Union and Chairman Mao's China. Mamdani's aide, his top aide, Sia Weaver, said if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over, and impoverish the white middle class. What? That's a goal?
Yep, commies are gonna commie. It's all they know. They seize, they degrade, they destroy, and they cause untold suffering in the process.
New soon-to-be Democratic Congresspeople, Darlisia Chevalier, supports seizing all properties from landlords and said seize the means of production. Mamdani has said the end goal is seizing the means of production. I think they want to seize the means of production. Now, maybe you missed that in school or missed school altogether, but that's communism. Now the coalition within the DSA, called the Marxist Unity Group, is in ascendance, and I must take them at their word when their words include, our commitment is to the long-term struggle for a fully liberated, classless society, in a word, communism. What do they have to do? Tweet out, elect more communists? Oh yeah, Sia Weaver did that. Yes. Good, I'm glad you're shocked.
Don't you love the audience gasping in shock? Have they not been paying attention? And I just noticed Scott Galloway was there sitting on the panel. Perhaps that was before Mamdani doxed him. Now, you may think that there are sensible socialists, communists, Marxists, whatever you want to call them, but you would be wrong. Even when they are well-spoken and seem so agreeable, their ideas are poison. Like this young lass being interviewed by Nick Shirley. When people show you who they are, believe them.
I think I'm pretty pro-communism. I'm pro making things accessible. I'm pretty pro getting rid of prisons.
How can you like to get rid of prisons?
Well, like the system of criminality is a very strange way to interact with, like, I guess humanity in general, and like things that as a species we're not interested in, like perpetuating. I think it's kind of backwards. And so I'm not certain what prisons are actually doing for our society.
Would you like to have criminals out in the open?
Well, do I want criminals out in the open? Sure, I'm fine with that, because the idea of a criminal is like a little bit funny to me.
Let's just say somebody who has raped a woman.
Totally.
Would you like them to be out in the street?
I think my answer is yes, even though that's a challenging answer to say.
Yep, their ideas are pure poison. That young woman is so brainwashed by that lunacy that she wants rapists and murderers to roam free. Now to an exchange between CNN propagandist and Fauci fangirl Dana Bash and Secretary of Health Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Enjoy.
Out there in science.
You're repeating
and
it like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot. I've actually read the science. You don't want to come back here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you are.
No, because I'm not debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job.
Now, we spoke last week about the disturbing scenes at a WNBA game where the co-owner of the Seattle Storm was filmed berating teenage girls. The girls were there wearing shirts and holding up signs supporting women's sport, and WNBA player Sophie Cunningham. The Storm did issue a public statement, but they have yet to send a formal apology to the girls directly. And one of those girls, Annalie Wilson, opened up about the encounter to Fox News. Have a listen.
I feel like a lot of people making comments sitting next to me, and then specifically the co-owner saying that it was kind of disheartening. And it also just is like, they don't know my story. They don't know that I've actually experienced this, and I've experienced it more than once. I'm going to junior year now, and I've competed against a biological male 4 times. These people don't even know what I've gone through. So for them to just say that and just keep pushing and, you know, saying rude comments, it's disappointing, especially when it's other women.
For hardworking American taxpayers, dealing with the IRS or state tax agencies alone is one of the biggest financial mistakes you can make. Don't do it. You work hard and pay your taxes, yet the moment you fall behind, the government comes after you aggressively with garnishments, frozen bank accounts and mounting penalties. That's why so many turn to America Tax Group. They help individuals and businesses nationwide resolve serious tax debt, audits and unfiled returns before they spiral out of control. I know that most of my Lefties Losing It viewers in the United States are hard-working Americans. Don't let the IRS make the next move against you. If you're based in the United States and have a tax issue, contact America Tax Group now for a free IRS and state tax investigation. Don't wait for the IRS to make the next move against you. Call 888-777-7130 now. That's 888-777-7130. And we're going to get rolling with this damsel in distress who has no time for you or your ugly as hell opinions.
Got a bunch of passing, pick-me trans people up in my comments right now telling me that I'm making society a worse place to us all by being myself and sharing my experience. Let me tell you, you are privileged as hell to be passing. Not all of us want to be living up to society's expectations of gender norms and beauty standards. Besides, there's more to beauty than appearance. It's also about opinion, and your opinion is ugly as hell.
You see, if he says he's a woman, he's a woman. That's how the idiot left see the world. And he's backed by every weak-willed simpleton who puts pronouns in their bio or on their Instagram page. Now let's go skating.
Just like this big. So who knows what's going to happen. But here we go. Are you ready?
using every bit of willpower not to make the easy joke there. Now let's check in on some members of the media who continue to be Fauci fanboys. Here is former CNN anchor Chris Cuomo.
I don't know who here needs to hear this, but if you were forced by a situation where people were coming after you to plead the fifth and take everything that comes with that, what would you be doing right now? I'd be in the fetal position or hiding. Tony Fauci is seeing patients. Why? Because he's a real one. And because what they're doing, going after him, is bullshit and everybody knows it. You want to find out who started COVID, that's great. Are you saying Tony Fauci did? Are you saying America did? Then what are we talking about? If you didn't like masks, if you didn't like mandates, if you didn't like any of that, go after the administrations that were okay with it.
Yeah, I wonder who those administrators and politicians were listening to, Chris. Whose orders were they following when they imposed mask mandates and vaccine mandates? You know, both Chris Cuomo and his lying brother, the former New York governor, have questions to answer. And these media hacks will never admit the truth about COVID, about the restrictions, or even Fauci, because that would be telling on themselves. They're all complicit and they know it. Now, here's Bravo bigwig Andy Cohen. He's had another Fauci rant, and this one may be his craziest yet. Look at those crazy eyes.
Time for my mazel of the day. It goes to Dr. Anthony Fauci, who spent over 3 hours today being grilled, berated, and sworn at by Senate Republicans over the imaginary crimes they want you to believe he committed during his management of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh, Andy Cohen, he really is one of the most reprehensible hypocrites in the entertainment world today. But not every lefty is determined to stay stupid on Fauci. Here is the Young Turks' Anna Kasparian.
The one thing that I think the conservative Americans were correct about, especially as it pertained to the pandemic, was questioning authority and questioning our institutions. When the pandemic began, I had too much trust in our institutions. I have now switched over to having zero trust in our institutions.
Now, President Trump is not exactly thrilled with the Office of U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro after federal prosecutors moved to dismiss vandalism charges against former Olympian David Hearn, who was accused of deliberately damaging the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. But just because he's not happy with Jeanine doesn't mean he's going to entertain questions from MS Now nuffies.
And frankly, I think she choked because the judge was really vicious. Instead of going after the people that did it, the judge went after her and went after her department. And I guess she choked. I don't know what the hell happened.
Are you reconsidering her role?
I don't know what. You don't. You're fake news. Don't ever talk again. You're fake news. One of the worst in the business. Fortunately, nobody watches you.
Don't ever talk again. As Greg Gutfeld says, we don't deserve him. Now, Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has mocked Anthony Preemptive Immunity Fauci over his decision to plead the fifth 111 times during a Senate hearing last week.
How do you kind of view this year versus maybe the years of the past?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
Okay.
Okay. Like
Gotta love that guy.
Like that absolute coward, Tony Fauci. Absolute coward.
Yeah.
Hey, it's back, baby.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 111
You
times.
got a pardon and you're in front and you pleaded over 100 times at the White House? What are you scared of, Tony?
Yeah.
I thought you were the science.
Yeah.
I thought you were I am science, and you get up there and you can't answer a question?
Yeah.
What are we doing? And how much time did the network spend on that? How much time did they spend on my responses every week, on my vaccination status, on Taylor and Travis's wedding? Did they do even a minute? Did they do even a minute on Tony Fauci?
No, I don't think I've heard anything.
I bet they didn't.
You know what? The best thing is that happened on the painfully woke ESPN station. You know, the idiots who don't know what the W in WNBA stands for. Now, Aaron Rodgers paid a heavy price for challenging COVID mandates. He hasn't forgotten, and neither should you.
Go back to Fauci?
Yeah.
Go back to the coward Tony Fauci and his science?
Hold on now.
Who's spending the entire time writing in his diary about how fun it is to be famous. You got to be kidding me.
Okay, so on that note.
What are you going to say about me now?
Debate him.
What are you going to say about me now?
No, I got no debate here. You had a 500.
No, seriously, what are they going to say about me now? Now you can't talk about the COVID stuff because obviously it was made, in a lab in China. That's like not even questionable anymore. Tony Fauci is an absolute criminal.
Let's start with Kamala. She's back, and she's still shook that the Trump administration cut USAID. That fraudulent program that was used to run leftist activist projects around the world.
It's so unbelievable that they got rid of USAID. And you saw the recent numbers. As many as, 700,000 people have died.
No one has died. Kamala, calm down, love. And she's in terrible company there, pushing the false notion that USAID cuts are causing widespread deaths. Here is crack and hoe enthusiast Hunter Biden.
Let me tell you where the genocide is about to occur, and is occurring right now. Directly because of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Donald Trump, under the direction of Elon Musk, ended USAID. And when I was talking about the good that the United States could do, it could not be more embodied than in the work that USAID has done over the course of decades.
Genocide, really. This is a man who was, along with Anthony Fauci, granted a pardon, a full and unconditional pardon by Daddy. Thanks, big guy. Now let's see what Elon Musk, who headed Doge, has to say. He wrote, worth noting that any USAID funding that appeared to have the slightest merit whatsoever for helping people in need was moved to the State Department. Only the funding where they provided no evidence at all for who would receive the money was stopped. But it's a genocide, claims Hunter Biden, really. The biggest grifting Nepo baby that has ever passed through the White House, and the most hateful, it seems. Listen to this demented diatribe about the Trumps. Hunter wants President Trump's grandchildren, even the toddlers presumably, to suffer. Meanwhile, Hunter and the rest of his family don't even acknowledge Hunter's own biological child. Remember Navy?
And as it relates to Donald Trump, him, his sons, his daughter. I mean it, all of them, the whole family, down to the grandchildren. I hope for the rest of time that I am on this earth, that their names will live in ignominy. And by the way, here's the thing: like, oh, this is going to get clipped, and this is going to be the thing, and you go out there. But let me just tell you something. What would you expect me to say? What would you expect me to say about a man that treats my father that way, publicly? What would you expect me to say about a man that treats my mother that way, that treats my sister that way? They stole her diary and published it.
Doesn't he sound just like his dad? And it seems the cognitive decline has set in early. Frankly, it is absurd to claim that Trump had anything to do with the diary of your sister being released. And that diary detailed, frankly, some shocking, disturbing allegations about the Biden family. Now to Francesca Hung, a Democratic socialist, aka communist, a former Wisconsin state rep, who wants to be the next governor of the Badger State. And of course, the media are largely on her side, but this woman has got some weird ideas.
Global warming is an evil product of capitalism. It's wrapped up in buzzwords like technological advancement, market competitiveness, or my favorite, fiscal responsibility. What we've learned is that the climate crisis is America's steadfast celebration of white supremacy. It is a testament to the same values that motivated Jim Crow, enslavement, redlining, settler colonialism, and the violent theft of indigenous lands and lives.
Oh yes, she's quite crazy. The so-called climate crisis is a steadfast celebration of white supremacy. Interesting, given the biggest emitter in the world is China. Frankly, there was too much crazy to unpack there, but I'm sure this woman can't be detached from reality on all issues. Let's see what she has to say about law and order, crime and punishment.
We know now that the billions invested in the criminal legal system is not working. We are spending on incarcerating an individual more than tuition for UW-Madison.
Lady, are you okay? I'm all for lowering the spend on incarcerated criminals, but that doesn't mean I want them on the streets. This woman is such a crazy radical, she can't even give a clear assurance that she won't abolish the police. She was asked repeatedly and she refused to rule it out.
Do you still long-term want to abolish police, but ultimately?
You know, I believe that we have to be serious about public safety, and I'm going to be a governor that is more serious than anyone else in making sure that we are building systems of care.
The answer is no, Franny. If a journalist asks you, do you want to abolish the police? The simple answer is no, I'm not crazy. Of course I don't want to abolish the police. But she didn't say that. She had multiple opportunities and she won't deny that's the ultimate goal, because that's the ultimate goal and her nutty supporters back it. This is the modern Democrats, folks. They think we're in a climate crisis. They think a climate crisis is there to celebrate white supremacy and that we should abolish the police. And why not abolish Thanksgiving whilst we're at it? Now, Hong was asked about this in a CNN interview, but of course the question was framed to criticise Republicans digging up the past, you know, the ancient past in 2021. Caitlin Collins gave Hong every opportunity to back away from her call to cancel Thanksgiving, but again, she floundered.
He keeps highlighting and, you know, obviously likely would continue to do so before November should you win. One thing that they brought up as well was a post from you in 2021 where you said Americans should cancel Thanksgiving, should have done this in 1621. The post has been deleted. Republicans have been highlighting it. Do you still believe that Thanksgiving should be canceled?
I'm a chef, and one of the first meals that I made that was for the community when I was 16 was a Thanksgiving meal.
What? The answer is no, Franny. I don't think Thanksgiving should be cancelled, but she didn't say that. She talked about being a chef and what she did when she was 16. But of course, she does eventually give her real answer. She hates Thanksgiving and thinks it's harmful.
But Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities. And so I think I wanted to make sure that people understood that there are multiple views.
Yes, there are multiple views, including your one calling for Thanksgiving to be cancelled. You know, the only thing that unites these radicals, whether they're communists, Islamists, climate cultists, is a shared hatred of America and the West. I've got some bad news. Rosie O'Donnell appears to have abandoned plans to return to The View for its 30th anniversary. They just couldn't fit any more hate and hysteria on that panel. But that hasn't stopped Rosie from spewing her loopy ideas to anyone who will listen. Here she tells Kara Swisher that she will return to the US once Trump is no longer president because she misses her kids.
When he's done, because I miss my other children greatly, and I miss, you know, New York and my life here. And I think it's very important as I get older for Clay to be around her siblings so that, you know, when I go, they'll have a strong connection, stronger than it is
Very
now.
good point, yeah.
Really, we make jokes here, but what sort of mother would separate a young child from their older siblings just to satisfy their irrational, seething hatred of Donald Trump? But according to Rosie and fellow lefty loon Cara, that's just great mothering.
I think definitely better parents. I think lesbians should raise all the kids, honestly.
I do too, frankly.
We'd have strong, confident men who like women and
Yes.
girls who are confident and also like men and women. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lesbians definitely make better parents, they said. Well, not all lesbians, evidently. And of course, a Rosie moment on Lefties wouldn't be complete with at least one utterly insane lie about President Trump. Here is Rosie's latest effort claiming President Trump is orchestrating assassination attempts against himself. This woman is sick.
And I think right now he believes he's in a reality show, staging everything from assassination attempts to everything that he has done. It's demented. I mean, it's really, really sick, toxic, and dangerous, and we're on the precipice of disaster.
Let's check in on a Democrat at the beach. This is Kirill Basin, a Democratic congressional candidate terrorising beachgoers in Maui.
Put your bag away. I told him if he wants to go to the hospital, come here. You.
Not my girls, right? You're not talking about my girls, right?
I don't care.
Don't do that, dude. Don't do that.
What are you gonna do?
Go ahead, just go. Just
What are you gonna do?
Don, go ahead.
Am
go.
I? I didn't put him in the ground. Let's go, bro.
But when it came time to fight, the Democrat got a dose of instant karma. A warning, this next clip is confronting.
Oh, chair thrower.
Confronting yet satisfying. Don't worry, folks, he was fine. He was up and about within seconds. The New York Post reports our Democrat friend had told beachgoers he had a gun and pulled a knife on the man afterwards. The congressional candidate allegedly tossed the knife in the water, but police recovered it and arrested him for 2 counts of first-degree terroristic threatening. Dear me. Now to the WNBA, where coaches are lining up to attack Sophie Cunningham, to attack women's rights, to attack biological reality. Not one coach or player has stood by Sophie, and that speaks volumes. This is a league of mad ideologues, idiots and cowards, it must be said, because you can be sure there'd be plenty who agree with her 100%. But let's hear now from the Golden State head coach, Natalie Nakase, with this incredibly dumb virtue signalling.
Sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self. I'm big on that just because I have been criticized for my height, for my ethnicity. I'm all about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women. So I'm all about inclusivity.
Sport is not about belonging, particularly elite sports. It's about competing. And women cannot compete with men because men are bigger, stronger, faster. This is obvious stuff, folks. That's why we have a WNBA. The W stands for women, and that does not include so-called trans women. I won't even start on the idiocy of comparing a man pretending to be a woman with height or ethnicity. Now, let's round out Lefties Losing It with what is tantamount to treason. Listen to how the national anthem was butchered at the opening Women's Professional Baseball League game in Springfield, Illinois. Why, Martha Reeves, why?
Through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
Look, I'm not saying you should be locked up for doing that to the anthem. You know what? Maybe I am saying that.